Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the Arise to Success show. This is our second episode of this show, and what we aim to do through this show is to highlight individuals and their journeys to success. I'm your host on this show. My name is Gehad, a counselor, coach, and educational practitioner in personality traits. So I spoke briefly about what the work that I do in last week's episode in relation to the personalities based on the model of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you haven't tuned into last week's episode, please feel free to watch it on YouTube. But in general, in my work, I give examples of the companions and prophets' wives who have the same personalities as ourselves in order to serve as our role models. Similarly, for this Arise to Success show, I invite guests to talk about their successes to inspire us and for us to see examples of today's role models too. So this brings me to introduce my inspiring guest today from a fitness background. We have Jamila, who is a female personal trainer focusing on weight loss and weight gain through strength training and a balanced diet. Jamila runs female-only powerlifting competitions as well as a female-only hiking group. So just to let you know, listeners, today is a pre-recorded show, so we're not going to be able to take any calls, but please feel free to text or WhatsApp your thoughts about the show on 07779 481 822. Alternatively, you can comment on Facebook as well. So sometimes if myself or the guests are not able to attend the live shows, there will be pre-recordings. So in those shows, we won't be able to take any calls or any questions, but you're welcome to send comments. But with the live shows, you're more than welcome to send us questions as well if you have any questions about the show or about the content of it, or if you have any questions to the guest. So coming back to my guest, Jamila, thank you very much for being here with us today, and welcome to the Arise to Success show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So, Jamila, amazing background, fitness. A lot of people are interested in fitness. So, tell us more about what you do and a little bit more about yourself, please.
Brilliant. So I've been a personal trainer for 6 years now, but I wasn't always a personal trainer, wasn't always into fitness. So I actually started working in recruitment and I started going to the gym, really enjoyed it. And I was going to work in my gym clothes. So people were like, just become a personal trainer. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I've got the patience. But on the back of that, I actually didn't get a promotion at work. I was really upset about it. And I just took faith and became a personal trainer. And I have not looked back since, because it's my role in itself is so inspiring to see people do well. Giving them advice, tailoring it to what they need. And that just keeps me going. For that reason alone, it's just so rewarding, alhamdulillah, to work with women and see how much they can improve in themselves, whether it's their mental health, their physical well-being, any health conditions, or even for mums being fitter for their children. And these are all parts of fitness. It's not just about going from a size 16 to down to a size 12. It's about a better lifestyle. And that is me in a nutshell, in a day, what I strive for, making people's days a lot better and a lot healthier.
Amazing. From recruitment to fitness.
Yeah.
Tell us about that journey.
So, I actually went back to university as a mature student in my late 20s, early 30s. And because the job I was working in law, it moved down south. I'm in Yorkshire and it moved to Brighton. I wasn't willing to move. So I went back to uni, did a master's in psychology. And I just stumbled upon this recruitment job with a charity. And it was going great. And purely what happened was I didn't get a promotion that I really wanted. And it gave me a kick that I needed. So I've gone from like law to recruitment to my actual passion. So I think for a lot of us, we're like kind of driven by family, like, oh, you should do this. This is like a really good career path. Like this will look really good, or you'll really enjoy this. But sometimes it's hard to know what you actually want to do, especially when you're in your early 20s, teenager, and you've pulled in so many different directions. And I didn't realize what I actually wanted to do until I was 34.
Wow.
Even then, I took a risk, leaving a career, which was a really good job. I was happy in the job. I had a really good time working there. And I thought, I've not got this promotion and I really wanted it. Where am I going from here? Like, where is the progression in my life? Like, do I have any direction? And I did the qualification for the personal training and alhamdulillah, it all just worked out. But one thing I would say is I had a plan B. So I didn't just throw everything away and think, okay, I've got this qualification now and I'm going to walk into a gym and all my clients are going to come my way. I had a plan B, which I think is really important for anybody who's looking to make a change in their life. Not everything always goes to plan. So it's looking at other options as well. And that is probably what motivated me, because I didn't want to use my plan B. I wanted to make a success of what I was striving to do. And I think that really helped me stay focused and determined, really.
That's amazing. So at the age of 34, you decided to make that shift, right? So it's not late, right?
No, never too late, never too late.
Right, absolutely.
I'm
And what
40
was
now?
Sorry?
I'm 40 now, and I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change
Wow.
anything.
Yeah. So you were determined at the time as well that you know what you want, and this was not the right, or perhaps it's not the best thing that you want to do for yourself, but you want to get into something else, and you decided to make that change at the age of 34.
Yeah,
So,
it's a bit scary because people think, oh, shouldn't you already know what you're doing by that age? And when do we ever know? Like, I'm not married, so I don't have children. My life could change overnight. Within a year, I might have children. I might be married. So again, it's thinking about everything that's coming towards you and how you handle it. I could sit there thinking that, oh, I need to wait until I'm married before I make any changes. But if I did that, I'd still be working in an office job, which I enjoyed, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. Like, I think I measure successes if you don't feel like you're going to work. Like my job, I don't feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm doing something I enjoy. I'm inspiring women. I'm making people have a better lifestyle. Me, so that doesn't seem like work. So that's a measure of success. And being an Indian Muslim female, we all have these, like, by a certain age you should be married, have so many children, be doing certain things. It's written for me when it's written for me. I could sit there and think I could dwell, or I could make the best of what I do have. And I think that's what I did, and that keeps me always positive and moving forward, rather than worrying about like our Asian female timeline, like when my time will come. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the qadr of Allah, right? Whatever is written, as you said, will happen, isn't it? So instead of delaying our decisions until we think it's the right time is actually when we actually think about it, and when this is when we decide to make changes, and that's the best timing when you actually, because you're motivated at that time, you want to take it, you want to take action, and that is the best time to actually take action. Because if we leave it, we're most likely not going to act upon it, right?
Exactly. And that exactly what you've said. So that's relating to my life and the choices I've made. But in terms of fitness, so a lot of women are like, I want to lose weight, I want to get strong, I want to get healthier. And I hear this a lot. I'll start on Monday. And never comes. We start on Monday, we're like, oh, I failed already, so let me start on next Monday. But like you said, summarized there, taking that action and thinking, okay, I've got to put the work in to get to where I need to be. It applies all aspects of life, and fitness is probably one of the hardest yet easiest things to apply it to, because we're eating anyway, so it's our choices what food are we eating. We're hopefully moving anyway, so how much are we moving? Are we going to sit and watch a TV program on Netflix? Are we going to use that 45 minutes and move around the house? Housework, that's fitness. Gardening, that's fitness. Going to the gym or going for a walk, all of that is fitness. And we've got to actively want to make those changes and improvements in our life to then think, okay, yeah, this is working for me. I'm seeing the positives from it. Now I'll carry on, rather than falling at the first hurdle and thinking I'll start again next Monday. And like I said, Monday never comes, tomorrow never comes. There's always another tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that what you said there, the key thing as well is that we may not see results straight away as well, right? So the main thing is that, firstly, we act upon what we decide and not leave it until tomorrow, as you said, or when we go older, or and then when we go older, I think, oh, it's too late now. So
Yeah.
act upon it when you've made that decision, and that's what I find. The moment of confusion of where
Yeah.
you want to go in your life, I see this as the empowering moment, because I
Yeah.
remember going through that in my life and felt so lost, completely lost. And I remember, I love Dunstable Downs. I know you're not from the area here, but I live in Luton near Dunstable. So I remember actually standing there. I used to love going to Dunstable Downs. At the moment, I felt so lost. I felt I didn't know what on earth I'm doing in my life. I know that I am not where I want to be, and there
Mm-hmm.
is something else that I want to do. And it's a very, very lonely moment. But
Mm-hmm.
after I've made certain decisions in my life, I was so glad that I had this moment, because this moment either takes you back or moves you forward, and you've
Mm-hmm.
got to make that decision there. So if anybody is experiencing those moments, I call them the empowering moments. Just act upon what you want to do. If you're feeling confused and there is something else that you want to do in your life, find out what that is. Keep searching, keep looking. That's what I did. I kept searching, I kept looking until I found what it is that I love, and I did it, alhamdulillah. And I'm so glad that I experienced this discomfort, because discomfort is a powerful thing. It means
Yeah.
that you're not happy with your state and you want to make changes. Just act upon it straight away. And
Mm-hmm.
what you mentioned there as well, after acting upon it, we may not see results straight away.
Yeah.
We may see results later. So just to be patient with the process. So let's talk a bit about fitness and what you do, and that, that fact that we may not see results straight away. A lot of people give up when they don't see
Yeah.
results. Tell us more about that.
So I think it is talking about what those results actually are, because a lot of the times we want to see physical results. So if we look in the mirror and we were thinking, oh, I've got a bit of a belly, and we
Mm,
want to see that go down, for example. And I always say to my clients, it's not about those changes. It could be the smallest thing. So you might sleep better. You might have little children. You couldn't run around after them in the park, and now you can. All
yeah.
those things are making you better internally, and all the internal goodness will then outwardly, you'll see it. But like we said, and we've said a couple of times, results don't come overnight, they don't come straight away. And when it comes to fitness, it's that patience, finding what works for you, because not one person's the same. And a
Mm,
lot of the times, like listeners, I'm sure you've had it before, where you've got a friend who's doing the same thing as you, or a family member, and they're in a different part of their journey, but you start at the same time. But we are all individuals, so what might work for one person might not for the next. So it's finding your route, what works for you, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what you have time for, because we all have 24 hours, but we don't have the same 24 hours. We all have different commitments and different needs. So I tend to break it down for my clients. So I say, okay, look at your week. You got 7 days. From
mm,
those, if you need to be exercising at least 3 times, and let's call it an hour. So when can you build that hour into your week? So what can you swap and change? And it might be something as simple as that 5 minutes that you sit down with a cup of tea or coffee that turns into that hour.
mm,
Take your 5 minutes and then use the rest of that hour to actually move, to do something that's going to make you proactive, help you feel better, help you feel fitter. And you don't have to be a member of a gym, you can be at home. So, for example, I'm just looking around, what have I got near me? And I've got a bottle of water. So that's a 2 litre bottle of water. If that's filled up, that's a 2 kg weight. So you
mm,
don't need to buy expensive gym equipment. You don't need to go to the gym. You can be at home, put on a YouTube video. You've got this weight now, this water bottle. Make sure it's sealed so it's not falling out everywhere. And now follow this workout, and you don't have to have a fancy dumbbell or a colourful kettlebell or anything like that. You've got your own weight at home. But it's making that choice. And like we said, because the results don't come overnight, make that choice to do it. Then secondly, see if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it and you feel good, do it again and again and again. And those changes that you make from not moving at all, or not moving a certain amount, to moving a bit more now, doing this YouTube video, for example, you're going to see the difference over a few days, over a week or two, and you're going to be like, oh gosh, okay, I can actually feel better in this dress or this outfit. I can see a difference. Or it might be somebody else who said, oh, you're looking a bit brighter. And
Mm.
those things are all results from your fitness improvements. It doesn't have to be the scale saying 13 stones and now saying 12 and a half. Now,
Yeah.
I wish I didn't say the scale. I avoid using the scale as a measure because a lot of people see that as progress. But
Mm.
as women, we change, we fluctuate. Our hormones are so volatile. The scale is going to fluctuate so much just in a day, let alone if
Mm.
you've had a fatty dessert or a healthy salad. That scale is going to be up and down in a day. So I actually don't use a scale with my clients. I use
Mm.
measurements, clothes, and pictures.
So say that
That
again, use what?
the measurements. So get the
Mm.
tape out and measure them.
Mm.
I ask them how they're feeling in their clothes, if their clothes are fitting better.
Mm.
So I take pictures of them front, side, and back. So if you're on your own at home, what I normally say is wear something that you're comfortable in. So maybe some leggings and just like a shorter top. You're in the privacy of your home. You're going to see these pictures. And just take a picture of yourself from the front profile, side profile, and back profile. And then do the same again after you've obviously been moving a bit more and eating better. So do that again in a month and analyze that picture. Put them in a collage. I know you all use your phones and you know how to do all these fancy things on your phones. Put them into a collage and have a look and compare where you've lost it from. And guaranteed, if you're consistent, you're going to see changes in your body and you're going to feel amazing about it. Whereas if you stand on the scale on a Monday and it says 12 stones and you stand on it on a Tuesday and it says 12.2, just because you've had a glass of water beforehand, but you
Mm.
put on 2 pounds, that's not going to make you feel good. So get rid of the scales. We don't need them at all. Use other measures instead, like I've mentioned.
Wow, I love that because a lot of us use the scales, right?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. So that we use as a measurement. And as you said, if we see something going up, we're like, oh my God, it's not working, forget it, or it's not going down, forget it.
Yeah,
So that's great what you mentioned there. And I think it's quite important for each individual because you mentioned each one has a different journey, right? So I think the best thing also is to set a goal, right? So I'm assuming that's yeah. So that's what you do with your clients is set a goal because it's a different journey for everybody. Set a
mm,
goal, and that goal make sure that it's for you, not the same as someone
yeah,
else,
mm,
right? Because if it's the same as someone else, again, you may not be inspired by their motivations. You've got your own motivation. So setting a goal for yourselves, and then also working on that journey, knowing that journey is for you. And that's something else I wanted to relate it to. That's why I also bring guests from different backgrounds. So you from fitness, for example, last week was someone else from a different background, and so on, because I want to show different journeys to the people so
yeah,
that they may inspired by one specific journey, think okay, you know what, that's exactly what I want to do. So it's more of a motivation, and perhaps it may not be exactly what the listeners want to do, but it's more of an inspiration to take action and to get into what you're passionate about. And
yeah,
mashallah for you, from recruitment at the age of 34 to personal training, and mashallah, you're great at what you do because you already gave us really, really great tips there, mashallah, for the listeners. For example, in terms of the measurements, pictures, as you mentioned, from
yeah.
different angles, the measuring tape, and what else you mentioned, the third thing there.
So on other people's compliments, like taking compliments
Mm.
as women, we find really hard to take compliments sometimes.
Mm.
Not myself, other people. I've noticed so much that we find it hard, and we always think, why are they saying that? Do they
Yeah.
mean? And sometimes just taking that compliment, thinking, okay, do you know what? If I'm looking brighter, happier, healthier, that is definitely a good measure for your success in fitness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to remind the listeners, we have Jamila on the show today. Jamila is from a fitness background and she's a female personal trainer focusing on weight loss and weight gain through strength training and a balanced diet. Jamila runs a female only powerlifting competitions as well as a female only hiking group. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those hiking groups and powerlifting competitions. If you don't mind sharing some information about that to the listeners so that they know where they can get more information at. But just before we do so, you mentioned something there where you said make sure that what you do, you enjoy it. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because I noticed that if I don't enjoy something, I'm not going to stick to it.
Yeah, that's it. So, a lot of like the word diet. If someone says
Mm.
to me, go on a diet, it's negative. And if it's negative, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm not going to stick to it. I might do for a day, I might do for two, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm not allowed to do something else. So I don't want to do this. And it becomes a chore and daunting. Whereas if you think, okay, I enjoy, let's use food as an example, because we all love eating, I'm sure. Um, yeah, and we all love eating, I'm sure. So using food as an example, if I say to somebody, don't eat this anymore, then they're being deprived. If you're being deprived, you want it even more because you've been told you can't have it. Like children, if you tell them not to play on that certain toy, they're going to want to play on that toy a lot more. So it's human nature. Whereas if you say, you can have this, but in moderation, like, oh, okay, so I'm not allowed to have it, so I can have it, then you're going to enjoy having it more, and then you're not going to take advantage of that enjoyment. So this concept I learned from my parents. So as I mentioned, I'm Indian, I'm Muslim, from an Indian community, and when we were younger, so I'm 40 now, so obviously when I was a teenager, so that's 20 plus years ago, society was very different. And my mum always said that when I was at high school, she always used to say that I wanted to go to the town with my friends, and she said, no, you're not allowed. I was never allowed to go anywhere. Wasn't allowed to do anything, go anywhere. But she always said, when you're 16, you can do whatever you want. I'm waiting to be 16 now. So then, when I got to 16 and I could do whatever I wanted, I didn't want to do whatever I wanted. Because what do I want to do? Like, I had all these high hopes. I'm like, I'm going to go on the train to here and there. I'm going to do things. But I was like, oh, okay, it's not as appealing anymore because I can. So when I did go places with my friends, I really enjoyed it and I made the most of it. And then obviously, in our culture, in our religion, we want to respect our parents. And now this actually, so my mum now I think was really clever. She taught me respect without me having to learn respect. So now that I'm allowed to go places with my friends and I can do whatever I want, I'm having a really good time. But I also don't want to take advantage of my freedom because I'm able to do something and I'm enjoying it. I don't want it to be taken away from me. So that same concept I use in the fitness, in terms of exercise and food. So if we enjoy what we're doing, so now I'll use the example of exercise. So when I plan sessions for my clients, I use a typical structure which I adapt to each client because, like we said, everybody's different. Now, for example, today I had a client and I did an exercise with her. She loves that exercise. Now, because I know she loves it, when she's doing that exercise on her own in between sessions, I know she's going to do it to the best of her ability. I've got another client who I've done that exercise with. She hates it. And I tried it. I tried to make her enjoy it. I showed her she was good at it. But in that first week, when I saw her the following week, she said, Jamila, I did everything, but I missed that one out. Why did you miss it out? Oh, I don't think I'm good at it. I don't like it. Great. Okay, that's fine. So I found an alternative. So rather than thinking, okay, don't enjoy it, let me just skip it, find an alternative. So it all goes hand in hand. I've given different examples of like having that freedom and then being able to do something and the choices you make there, or actually physically being able to do something and enjoying something. And it's almost like I'm going off at a tangent, but if we marry those two together, it's going to motivate us a lot more to continue doing what we're doing. And then as we continue doing something we enjoy more, we become consistent at it, and with consistency we get results.
Absolutely. I love that. So it's very important for us to actually enjoy what we're doing, because sometimes we think, oh, we just need to reach a certain goal, whatever it is, whether we enjoy it or not. I mean, some people are determined like that, right? Whether they like it or not, they will still work towards their goals. But as you said, each journey is different for everybody, so it all depends on the client. But it is quite important as well to do what we enjoy, because, as you said, it creates that consistency, and that consistency is key to continue into getting the results that you want. So that's great that you've mentioned that there and clarified that part, because I think it's quite important. We are coming close to having a break, but I will just quickly summarize what we've covered so far and just remind the listeners that we have Jamila on the show with us today, who's a female personal trainer focusing on weight loss and weight gain through strength training and a balanced diet. She runs female only powerlifting competitions as well as a female only hiking group. And just remind you, listeners, this is a pre recorded show, so unfortunately, we can't take any calls tonight, but please do feel free to send your text or WhatsApp. Please feel free to text or WhatsApp your thoughts about the show on 0779 481822. Alternatively, you can also comment on Facebook as well. So what we covered so far with Jamila is that we talked about the journey from being working in recruitment at the age of 34, deciding to make a shift and to get into what she wants to do, which is fitness and becoming a personal trainer, helping women to achieve the results that they want to achieve. We've also talked about the how the journeys differ from one client to another and how you help each client based on their own needs and their own journeys by setting a goal, how we can be determined, how we can be consistent with achieving our goals through using alternative exercise or different kinds of exercises in order to accommodate for the individual, for that they enjoy it so that they can reach their goals. So listeners, please do stay tuned. We have a lot more to discuss with Jamila. So we'll just go for a short break and we will see you soon. Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to the Arise to Success show. We have Jamila with us today, who's a female personal trainer focusing on weight loss and weight gain through strength training and a balanced diet. Jamila runs a female-only powerlifting competitions as well as a female-only hiking group. We are having a pre-recorded show today, so we won't be able to take any calls, but please feel free to text or WhatsApp your thoughts about the show at 0779 481822. Alternatively, you can message us on Facebook as well, or you can send your comments on Facebook. So Jamila, we've discussed amazing things before the break in terms of you've provided great tips on having each individual having their own journeys, and what works for one individual may not work for the other, how they can set goals, how they can be determined, and how important it is to actually enjoy the exercise. Perhaps we can talk a little bit more about what I mentioned in your introduction here, where you focus on weight loss and weight gain. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering here, does it differ when it comes to weight loss and weight gain in terms of the exercises that we do, in terms of the diet? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
No, so you'd think that it's completely different if you want to gain weight or lose weight, because they're two completely opposite things. But no, so if we tackle diet first, so how diet works is there's three things: calorie deficit, calorie maintenance, and calorie surplus. Mm-hmm. So I'm my size, I'm this shape right now. So if I want to stay looking this exact same shape and size, I would be on calorie maintenance, which means I'm eating the same amount of calories that I need to maintain this size. Mm-hmm. Now, if I want to gain weight, I would be in a calorie surplus. So I'll use round figures. So if I needed to eat 1,500 calories to look exactly like I am going forward, I'd do that. But if I wanted to gain weight, I would increase those calories by a healthy amount, not a drastic amount that's not manageable. So I might eat then 1,800 calories. But then on the flip side, if I wanted to lose weight, I would reduce my calories by 300. Now, what happens then is we don't want to reduce the calories too much, which is a mistake that a lot of people make. Because what happens is if you reduce by too much, then you're depriving your body of certain nutrients, or food is energy and fuel. So you're depriving your body of fuel. So in a short space of time, you might lose weight. And this is why I don't use the scales. So those pounds might drop quite quickly. And you might think, great, this is amazing. But then over time and with age, not eating enough is going to catch up with you. It's going to affect your health, your well-being, your mental health, might cause illnesses. So we never want to drastically reduce calories. So what we would then do is try to eat in a healthy calorie deficit. So no more than 200 or 300 of your calorie maintenance. So if you're sat there wondering, oh my God, what is a calorie maintenance? How am I meant to know this? If you just Google calculate my calorie maintenance, it will ask you for some figures, and the website will tell you what your maintenance is. And then if you want to gain weight, you'd add on 300. And if you lose weight, you would reduce by 300. And doing it like that will give you results slowly and manageably over time, rather than having a quick fix where you drop drastically and you see the scales dropping drastically. What happens with that is, as soon as you go back to eating a bit more, you're going to gain that weight back on just as quick.
Wow.
So if we do it in a healthier way by reducing by a healthy, fair amount, lose it slower, but you'll keep it off, and you'll keep it off for a lot longer. So short-term goals over long-term goals. And I discuss this with my clients all the time, and I always say, well, what would you prefer, like long-term or short-term? For example, I'll have clients who come to me and say, I'm going to a wedding. I'm like, oh great, when is it? Hoping that they'll say 3 months, and they'll say 3 weeks. And I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't do a crash diet, so I can't promote something that's unhealthy, so I wouldn't ever do that. So I always say a manageable amount, no more than 300 either way of your meat, is a really good, healthy way to lose weight. And that's where the difference there in terms of diet is the same in terms of losing weight or gaining weight. But then you're thinking, what are those calories? I could eat 5 chocolate bars and I'm at 1500 there straight away. So what you're putting into your body is very important as well. So we all eat carbs, so things like bread, pasta, rice, and protein, so vegetarian or not. So that could be lentils, fish, chicken, meat, dairy, and good fats. I say good fats because we don't want to be eating the bad fats. So good fats is like olive oil, cheese, that couple of examples there. Now, I never say to anybody, we're going to cut out any of those 3 food groups, because your body needs carbs, needs protein, and needs fats. They all have a different function to make your body operate and work. But if you suddenly cut out one of those macronutrients, you're now again depriving your body. So great, you might see results really quickly and you might see your body changing. But then as soon as you put that macronutrient back into your body, you're going to gain it all back on, but a bit quicker. Whereas if you eat all of those in moderation and don't cut anything out, those slow results. So now you're getting those results slowly, but you're getting them, and you're going to keep those results. You're able to eat everything, so you've not cut anything out, you've not deprived your body. So now what you've done is you've built a healthy, balanced lifestyle. For example, a keto diet would cut out carbs. So if someone said to me, never eat bread, never eat pasta, never eat rice, but keto is carbs, which is also fruit. So now a lot of people forget about that. So then you can't eat fruit ever again. So keto is sugar in every sense. So now you can't eat honey, you can't eat any chocolate, you can't eat baked beans. And people are thinking, what? So I thought it was just bread, rice, pasta. I'm like, no. Keto is carbs. So then it's understanding what you're doing as well. So whether you're looking to gain weight or lose weight, you do not want to cut out any of your macronutrients. You just want to make better choices. So for example, with carbs, you would want to eat, let me think of some example now. So you would want to eat a bread roll instead of an iced finger. So like do a bread roll with the icing on it, because now you've got sugar carbs or you've got grain carbs. You just want to have the grain carbs, being wheat, something natural. For example, like it's like crunchy nut cornflakes or Weetabix. Have the Weetabix instead, because crunchy nut cornflakes is full of sugar. It might be honey, it's still sugar, and your body's going to burn that sugar differently. So then if you're looking to gain weight, you're wanting to eat then more carbs and more protein, because protein will help your muscles to grow and it will help you to repair your muscles after exercise. But then if you're looking to lose weight, a lot of people say you need to eat protein. So that's the same. So like I said, all we're doing now is you've got your calorie surplus for people who want to gain weight, or your calorie deficit for people who want to lose weight. So both of you would still eat protein. both of you would still eat carbs and both of you would still eat fats. But
Mm.
the person who wants to gain weight would eat more carbs
Mm.
and a similar amount of protein or more protein if they wanted to. More protein is always good. The
Mm.
person who wanted to lose weight would have slightly more protein and slightly less carbs. So it's that balancing act and understanding how to do that. But it's easy for me to say that, eat more protein, but it's really hard in practice to actually do. So what
Mm.
I say to my clients, whether it's weight gain or weight loss, is to start your day well. Because if you don't start your day well and it's now 8 o'clock at night and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got all these calories left to eat and all this protein left to eat, it's now going to be a chore and you're not going to enjoy it like we were saying earlier. It's
Mm.
actually something really difficult. Whereas if you're having, like a typical human is breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. So if you're having your breakfast about 8 o'clock and, for example, you have milk in your breakfast, that's your protein. If you're on your lunch break and you're going to Subway and you get a tuna salad, you or a tuna Subway, you've got your protein and your carbs. So the tuna is your protein, the bread is your carbs, or
Mm.
the salad, everything in the salad is carbs. So you've got balanced diet there. And then in the evening you might have, I don't know, let's use an Asian example. So you might have chicken masala with rice. So then
Mm.
what I'd say to people is, so if you try to lose weight, reduce the amount of oil in your chicken masala. Don't put any oil in your rice, just have boiled rice. If you're looking to gain weight, have a bit more rice and a bit more chicken, or maybe put in, you can do little easy swaps like adding in potatoes into your um, meat based dishes or chicken based dishes or fish based dishes. So you
Mm.
can make little swaps to make your meals a lot healthier. I don't say to anybody, especially in the South Asian community, if we start saying, stop eating all your chicken and rice and chapatis and things like that, people will be like, oh my God, what can I eat then? Still
Yeah.
eat it, but instead of having three chapatis, have one. Instead of
Mm.
all the oil in your dishes, reduce the oil. Because if you think about it, if we're anything we make, if we're making it from scratch, a lot of people like cooking with all these Instagram and TikTok videos. I know I like watching them.
Mm.
The basic ingredients in a meal are quite healthy. If you're thinking chicken, meat, or fish, then you've got
Mm.
onions, healthy, tomatoes, healthy, spices, good. So then the bad thing is the amount of oil. So you can still make all of that. Trust me, I make things all the time. Um, and I just reduce the oil. In Ramadan, I saw this recipe on I think TikTok.
Mhm.
I'm probably wrong there, and it was this 1 pan lamb dish. It's amazing, guys. It's on my TikTok if you want to have a look. It's
Mm.
slow cooked lamb, and I made it with reduced oil, and I realized that it's slow cooked. Like it's not gonna burn. I don't need any oil in it anyway. So I've
Mm.
been making it for my family. They've all been having it as well. So the exact same recipe from Ramadan to now, I've made it. Ramadan oil, now no oil. They're like, oh my God, this tastes exactly the same. This tastes better. This is good. What
Oh.
have you done different?
Mm.
Nothing. They don't need to know. If you tell,
Mm.
especially
Mm.
like traditional families in any culture, people like to stick to what they know. And if you
Yeah.
say, oh, I've taken something away, they're like, oh, but we need that. What do we take away? Like we were saying earlier, as soon as you say you can't have that, we're taking it away. Whereas if you
Yeah.
say, oh, no, it's the same thing. I don't know, just put something else, some other spice in it, they'll eat it. A lot of my
Mm.
clients say that as well. As soon as I start saying to people, or they say to their kids, "Oh, I'm making healthy food now. You need to eat this healthy food with me." The kids will be like, "I don't want to eat healthy."
Yeah.
Or just say, "Oh, we're having like roast chicken." Oh yeah, okay, great. We'll have roast chicken. But
Mm.
roast healthy. It's how you
Yeah.
present.
Absolutely, that's amazing, and it's all about how we put it forward, isn't it? As
Yeah,
you said. So, if you want for your family to change the diet to healthy, just don't tell them just change it,
yeah,
and just and as you said, reducing the oil. It still has oil, right? Because I do hear that a lot. They think that if you remove the oil, not remove, if you reduce the oil, it's not going to be as tasty. But as you said, you're not removing it; you're just reducing it. So it's still going to taste the same, but you're reducing the things that can For example, those who want to lose weight, you're using the things that will help to put on weight, or will kind of make you put on weight, and therefore it still tastes the same. It's just the way you play around with it. So that's great, and I love the tips that you've given, and you're still focusing on enjoying it. So you still enjoy your food, you
Yeah.
still enjoy your meals, but just make it a bit more healthy through those tips. I hear a lot of young people
Mm.
that they just decide to stop eating or just have one meal a day
Yeah.
to lose weight,
Yeah.
which you find, based on what you said, if you lose weight suddenly, you're going to put it on suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
Mm-hmm.
the way you said it there, because it just made a lot of sense. You lose something quickly, you're going to gain it quickly. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's slow, then you make sure that you maintain those results, and then you see it over time.
Yeah.
And I was also wondering, is it just the diet? Because when I look at those young people who say that, I just keep thinking there is more. There's exercise, there is sleep, there is a healthy
Yeah.
lifestyle, not just, the food or a specific area. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah. So a lot of people think that if I don't eat, I'm going to lose weight.
Mm,
But I always use the analogy of a car. So a car needs petrol. A petrol is
mm,
a fuel. A car will not move without the fuel. So same with the human body, our fuel is food. So
mm,
we're growing, we're moving, we're going to work, university, whatever it is our day-to-day life is. Like I'm sat here talking and I talk with my hands quite a bit and I'm
mm,
moving my hands about. So my body needs energy for everything that I'm doing. And
mm,
energy is measured by calories. So a calorie is a unit of energy. That's what essentially it is. And for me to do anything, so I'm sitting, I'm burning calories. So I need fuel to help me burn those calories to sit. I'm not
mm,
moving, I'm just sitting. And people think that food is just something that makes you gain weight, but no, change your mindset around food. Food is a source of fuel for you to live.
mm,
Your body is pumping blood around your body, that is burning calories. So to burn calories you need fuel. So to pump blood around your body you need that food. If you're not going to have that food, you're going to become malnourished. And when you're young, you might not realize it. You might just think, yeah, I've got loads of energy. Being a younger person, you're more mobile, you're more flexible naturally. So
mm,
yes, you do have energy, but as you get older, that's when you're going to see the negative impact of not eating enough or not eating the right type of food. So you might be that person who's just having one meal a day, or you might be that person who's having too much food and too much like burgers and cakes and desserts. So either way, that fuel you're putting into your body is either not enough if
mm,
you're just having one meal a day, or the wrong type of food if you're eating too much in a day. And that, so for example, you're 20 and you've got this lifestyle. When you're in your 30s, and speak to people in their 30s and tell them, like, oh, do you sleep okay? Like, how are your joints? They might think it's weird questions, but that's the only way you're going to understand, like,
mm,
what your life is going to be like when you're older based on the lifestyle you're living right now. And a lot of illnesses, for example, joint pain, backache, arthritis, um, all these different, they're just some common ones, but
mm,
all these illnesses are often hereditary, but also triggered on your diet and your movement and the amount of exercise that you do. So,
mm,
one meal a day, unfortunately, is just not enough at all. And if you're thinking, oh, well, my one meal a day is really high calories because I'm eating a burger and chips and we've got all these sauces on it and then I'm having a dessert. Okay, great. You might be eating the right amount of calories. But like I was saying earlier, the nutrients in that food aren't what your body needs. So, especially if you're exercising, because I know going to the gym is really popular, going walking is really popular, which is amazing. But what happens is when you go to the gym and you might do some weights, heavy weights, light weights, either way you're doing weights, or you're walking on the treadmill, you're using your
mm,
body. So, for example, if we do a bicep curl, so you've got weights in your hand and you curl it up towards your shoulders and you extend your arms back down, that's a bicep curl. In
mm,
doing that movement, what we're doing is we're damaging our muscles.
mm.
So then after the gym, if we eat protein, what's going to happen is our body breaks down the protein to repair our muscles.
All right. Mm,
So You often hear people say things like, oh, you're still burning calories after the gym. Yes, if you're doing weight training. So if you're doing that bicep curl and you've damaged your biceps, after the gym, if you're eating protein, your body is breaking down that protein, and that work that your body's doing, that fuel it's using up the carbs to break down the protein. So now you're burning calories, breaking down that protein and repairing your muscles. So
Amazing.
we think of the science behind it. I've explained it in like the simplest terms to help a broad range of people understand.
Mm.
So now you're still burning calories after, and the protein you're eating is benefiting your body by repairing the muscles, and the carbs that you're eating is giving your body the fuel it needs to break down that protein. So
Wow.
this is one of the reasons why I say we never cut anything out. And when we are eating, we want to focus on making a balanced, nutritious diet.
I love it. Thank you very much for explaining it in that much detail because a lot of the young people, even adults as well, but I've noticed a lot with the young people because then they hear around them. When I was a student as well, I remember I was quite skinny, but because I hear people wanting to lose weight, want to lose weight, I remember trying to lose weight myself. And now when I look back at myself, it's like, what on earth was I trying to do?
Yeah.
You know? So
Mhm.
the young people, they get influenced by these comments, and even if it's not comments directed to them, by hearing it they think,
Yeah.
oh, I must be fat too.
Mhm.
So, as you mentioned there, that's the diet is needed, the nutritions are needed, even to kind of for the body development and the body's progress.
Yeah.
So the solution is not to reduce the food, but to have the right amounts, to have the right nutritions, and based on your goals, you kind of up the calories or lower the calories based on whether you want to lose or gain weight. So thank you so much for that. We've got about 7 minutes to end, so I really want to talk a little bit more about the competitions that you're doing, the powerlifting competitions and hiking groups, so that if
Yeah.
the listeners want like to join, I'd love for them to benefit from that.
Yeah, so my hiking group, so I run one hike a month. It's always a Saturday. Most
Mm,
people are available on a Saturday. It's female only, so it's a
mm.
really good, welcoming environment. And I go to different places. It's usually in the north because we have more green.
I love it.
But so for example, the June hike is to the Yorkshire Dales. We're doing one of the Yorkshire Three Peaks,
Mm,
Penigent.
wow.
The July hike is the Peak District. We're doing a hike called Dragon's Back. It's open to any female with a good level of fitness. So all that means is that you're able to walk at least 15 minutes without collapsing.
Mhm.
Plenty of rest, and it's just really good to see different women of different ages from different backgrounds
Mm,
all enjoying nature and moving. I do get a lot of people who come once and they're like, oh my God, this is so hard. And then they come back in the following month because
wow.
they realise when they get home, actually, I did really well and I did really enjoy it.
Good.
So, yeah, that's the hiking group.
Mm,
And then the powerlifting competition. So, again, that's for all females. You don't have to be a strong, heavy powerlifter or go to the gym. So, my next competition is in August, so 3 months away. So, people have a lot of time. And again, it's female only. So all the competitors are female, all the staff are female, the referees are female, everybody's female. So it's really supportive
mm,
environment. There's videos of the last competition on my Instagram, which people
mm.
can watch.
Love it.
But I had the most empowering thing about this competition that I learned, and I did not expect it to be to this like wow extent, was I had women, for example, doing a squat at 145 kgs, almost three
Wow.
of me, and then I had women who were squatting 70 kgs, but the level of support, encouragement, and cheer was exactly the same for everybody.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons why I do these competitions. It's
Mm,
for women to support women, regardless of all those barriers that we might think that are stereotypical. It's only for certain type of people, or strong women who've been training for years, or big women who are really muscly. No, it's for any woman
mm,
supported, and just to think, oh, right now it's June and I can do this. I've got August. I've got something to work towards, and
yeah.
I'll be able to. Let's see what I can do there, and it's setting yourself that goal as well, and seeing what you personally can achieve. Because guaranteed, all of my staff and all of the other competitors, sorry, they'll all be cheering you on regardless of what you can do. because we all know the journey it takes to get there. And even though it's a competition, it's a supportive competition, and that's how I work. That's the only way to get results, by being supportive rather than comparing and being negative.
I love that. That's amazing, mashallah. I love the support that you've mentioned there because that's what helps us to keep going as well. So, listeners, any females out there, please, feel free to get, perhaps if you can share as well, Jamila, your Instagram and where they can find you so that they can get in touch if they want to join these groups. As you said, it's very supportive. It's female only for those individuals who would like to be part of female only clubs or groups. So please share with us where they can find you, where if they want to learn more about it and if they
Sure.
want, even for personal training as well.
Yep, so my main page is Jamila _ fitness. So that's JAMILA _fitness. And on there you'll see a link to all my other pages as well. And best thing to do is look at the videos of the previous competitions, the previous hikes, and think, yeah, do you know what? That looks fun, or no, it's not for me. I'm very transparent. I don't filter, Photoshop, or edit anything. What you see is reality on all my pages. So I hope that that's more encouraging. So we mentioned about young people like being influenced, and a lot of the times Instagram, TikTok, you see things, and remember that's a little snippet. Always look at things with two eyes. Is that reality, or is that what people are showing? And what you'll find from my page is the reality of it all.
That's great. So, inshallah, hopefully, we have people who are motivated, inshallah, to take action. As you said, it's full of green and we're approaching the summer holiday. So, hopefully, if they're not in the area, they can make the trip to the area. And what you mentioned there about, some people who are not into walking, for example, myself, I've got a few friends who are into walking. I'm not, for me, when then the view is nice, I just want to sit and enjoy it. And my friends said, let's make a trip to, somewhere nice and there's going to be a lot of walking. I said to them, no, that's not for me. But then when we went, the scenery was so beautiful that you don't even feel it.
Exactly.
So it was we walked a lot and I didn't even realize. And later on, after a few days, my friends were asking me, how was it? I'm like, it was actually really nice. I really enjoyed it. I didn't even feel the pain, walking, quite a lot. Yeah. So when the scenery is nice, when the view is lovely, when there is greenery, you will enjoy it, inshallah.
Honestly, yes. It's such an amazing, and just breathing in fresh air makes you feel so good. And alhamdulillah, we always seem to have sun on the hikes. So it stays that way. It makes a big difference to your day and your well-being.
Absolutely. And alhamdulillah, the weather is getting better. Finally, I've been waiting. I've been checking the weather all the time. When is it going to get better? Although some people say they love winter, but not for me. I love summer. So alhamdulillah, thank you so much for all that you've shared, Jamila. Perhaps in 30 seconds, what would you advise others to take action today?
Okay, so anything you want to do, write it down and do it. Big or small, don't think it has to be something massive. Smallest of goal, write it down, get it done in a week and carry it on for another week and build it up slowly like that.
Yeah. So make a start. As we mentioned, it comes back to what we mentioned earlier. Make a start. Don't wait for the right moment, because the right moment is when you actually think about it. And then try to keep that consistency by, as you said, do it for a week, 2 weeks, and then you start to see results. And inshallah, hopefully they can get encouragement as well from the people around them to help them going. So Jamila, thank you so much. We really benefited. I personally benefited a lot from this. So thank you so much for all the tips and all the recommendations you've given. And you've also shared your Instagram if anybody would like to have a look for more information, more recommendations and tips. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, listeners, for being here with us as well. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please do stay tuned to our future episodes of this show, where there will be more stories to share from a variety of different guests. And this show takes place every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. So please do add it to your diaries, calendars, whatever you use, so you don't forget. And also, if you know or if you are somebody, or if you know somebody who would like to share their stories in our radio shows to inspire others, please do get in touch on 0779 481822. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jamila, again. And thank you, listeners. Please stay tuned to future shows and Arise to Success. Assalamu alaikum.